Shirley can start the...
All right. You ready?
And then I gotta start I gotta start the Facebook stream. Start. And go live. Okay. And then I should be able to watch us on the big TV. That's pretty scary.
Hello?
Yeah, it's too loud there, Kim. You're not going to be able to use your microphone.
Yeah, but it's still not in my ears.
You've got it set wrong. You got to find the output setting. Okay, go ahead, Shirley.
All right. Well, let's officially welcome everybody to our December 13th, 2023 last meeting of the year to Apple Cider. So I hope that everybody is okay and well and looking forward to Christmas and the holidays and the beginning of a new year next year. So I'm going to give it over to Steve and let him start with news, or I imagine news then first, right, Steve?
Um,
Or do you want to do Q&A?
I don't know if I have any news.
Oh, Apple has no news?
To make sure the Cider stream is working. Okay, that looks like it is. And is the audio working is the trick. Alright, so let me bring up Apple Hot News. And share.
Steve,
Yep.
Charlie here, YouTube volume guy. Shirley's volume level was very good. You're not very strong. I don't know if you can boost it any.
Alright, let me boost mine up. Input. Oh, it went down. I had it up and it went down. Alright, so now it should be higher. Alright, and get to the other tab. Okay.
You may find that the volume level for other participants is maybe even a tad too high.
Alright, I can turn them down a little. Test, test, test. So I'm peaking in the red, which is sort of how you want it to be.
You sound fine to me.
You're not watching on YouTube.
Oh, sorry.
Of course, you can be distorting if you're in the red.
Yeah, so you want it to be just under the red. So it's loud enough without distorting. There's my...
Right now, if you're still peaking in the red, your level is pretty good.
Okay. Alrighty, so let's see, some Apple news stuff. Redesigned the Apple TV app a couple of days ago. I haven't played with it yet. It's supposed to make it easier to navigate and find your shows that you want to watch. Spatial video capture. This was an interesting one on the iPhone 15 Pro. Anyone have an iPhone 15 Pro? So
Nope.
Yeah, spatial video capture kind of mimics the audio a level up from a surround sound. So rather than just front, back, left, right, it also has top speakers. So you see some of that in iMacs and some of the other spatial audio demonstrations where it just surrounds you with audio. And what everyone thinks this is leading up to is being able to record 3D spatial video on your phone to play back in the Apple Vision Pro. And so it's great to have and that's what the picture shows here with it, watching it with an Apple Vision. So someone who has an Apple Vision, they're going to want to have content. So being able to record stuff on your iPhone 15. So right now 15 Pro and 15 Pro Max can record spatial video to play back on an Apple Vision when the Apple Vision comes out. So hopefully that feature should progress into newer phones as well. So it uses 2 cameras to do that. What would be better though is if the cameras were a little farther apart to match your eye distance. That way it looks even better three-dimensional.
I was going to say, so those people that are playing the little concert on the beach, they're going to hear the airplanes flying overhead.
Until the audio engineer removes it. Yep, so there's this little concert on the beach. And then being able to play it back in a window pane on the Apple Vision. Apparently there was another round of previews of the Apple Vision too, because several other reviewers started posting new reviews with different content in it. No one's got a date yet except early next year. Let's see. Yeah, more data breaches. 2.6 billion records were compromised in the past 2 years.
From where?
From internet attacks.
No, but I mean on anybody's particular website or service or what?
Everybody.
So even Apple platforms are affected. Is that what you're saying?
Every accumulated breach adds up to 2.6 billion records. Which kind of goes along with what Have I Been Pwned reports. So they've got 12 billion total records since it started. We've mentioned this every now and then, but it's a good idea to put your email address in every now and then. And so
I got a Steve in relationship to this. I had a notice on my credit report that I can't find it. Wanted to show you, or tell you about it, but I'm on the dark web, and people have my telephone number, and it actually showed the names of the people. It's a married couple that live on Scottsville Road, and they are apparently doing things with my phone number.
they were probably breached too. It probably wasn't them actually doing it.
I'm sorry, what?
They were probably breached too. It may not have been them actually doing it.
Oh, okay.
Because one thing the bad guys do a lot of is hide behind other breaches.
Yeah, pretend to be someone else.
Yeah.
And then the other strange thing is I've been getting at least 50 emails a day from they say all different companies, but they're being sent by a place called AFAR, AFAR.com.
Well, that should be easy to block that domain. The problem is most junk mail you get each message comes from a different sender, and so the bad guys do that to stop you from blocking them. So it's a catch-22 between blocking and getting in. But once you get on a junk mail list, there's nothing you can do except change your email address, which then you have to tell everyone your new address until it happens again.
Yeah. I don't even know where you block it in email.
In the message menu, there's a block sender command.
Oh, okay. Well, I might try
Steve,
that.
But it
I'm
almost,
sorry.
blocking that sender almost doesn't do any good because you never get anything again from that same sender.
Is it the same sender?
Yes.
Well, it may be
Yeah.
the same domain, but it may not be the same sender.
Well, yeah, it's AFAR dot,
Right, what comes before that?
oh, I don't know. Do I?
Yeah, if you point and hold um, on the email address, it will
Yeah,
tell you who it came from. Let me bring up
yeah,
that
yeah.
window.
But yeah, and they all say afar.com.
Right, but what does it say before that? So here's a fake message that says it came from Lowe's, but if I click on that, it actually came from, hospitality.communications at communicationshub.mail.usoamadeus.com. So that doesn't really help much. And if I
Oh, okay,
so I can block that sender um, using the block sender command.
okay.
Where is it? Oh, no. Um, yeah, block a contact. But you almost never get any mail from that same contact again because the bad guys know you can block the contact, so they use a different sender address for every junk mail that goes out.
Oh, well, it's a bad guy's world for sure.
Yep.
I've got a similar type issue. I'm getting emails that are going right into my junk, but they say that they're from me and they're not. They're scam emails.
Yep.
So what do? I mean, I don't want to complain about myself.
There's there's nothing you can do except change your email address.
But what was this thing that you were just showing about how you can ignore or block?
You can block a sender, blocking that contact.
Does that give me their original email address and not the one that they're spoofing for me?
No, it blocks the address it says it came from. So if they're spoofing that address, that will block that address.
Oh, great. It'll block me from me.
Yep.
Well, that stinks.
Steve, I have a quick question.
Yeah.
A couple points I want to make. One is that later on, if you're interested, I've got an item from an email from Malware Bytes about that could be an interesting rabbit hole to go down about push notifications on phones and things. But the more immediate question I have is, that Have I Been Pwned website,
Yep.
has that been spoofed by similar looking websites that are just not quite the same?
I haven't heard of any, but it's entirely possible.
Okay, because that's why I'm reluctant to screw around with it, because I just as soon not go to any website where I have to put in my email. But
Well,
anyway,
Apple.
thank you.
Let me switch sharing. Apple uses the Have I Been Pwned backend in Safari. Why can't I do this? Command tab doesn't work. Alright, so I'm going to close that window. I'm going to stop sharing. And I'm going to share a new window in Safari. I know I have to make a new window in Safari first. And nope. I don't know if this will work. No, I gotta have to do entire screen. And this is going to be a little confusing temporarily. Because I have to share the screen and then switch to Safari. So in Safari, if you go to Settings and then Passwords and enter your password in, it will list all of the security recommendations, and it uses the leaked password list from Have I Been Pwned to tell you if that password has been leaked or not.
What password are you putting in? Just any one you're curious about?
It does all of them. So I have 139 security password issues. I'm gonna have to go through this list again.
Shame on you.
Yeah. Well, some of them are passwords that I've already changed, but I didn't update the password manager,
I understand. I'm just
which
teasing
makes
you.
it a little tricky. And then it will tell you whether that password has been compromised and appeared in a data leak, or if that password is reused. Yeah, most of these I've already changed. I changed it on my personal computer, but it doesn't sync passwords to the club computer, which makes it tricky. So that's a way to keep track of if one of your passwords has been leaked. Using the Have I Been Pwned website will also send you a notification if um, a new website gets your leaked data,
Okay.
so you don't have to keep going in and looking to see if something got updated. There we go. Now we can see it on the YouTube. Yeah, we had a customer come in the other day and said, "Is it possible that I have 250 leaked passwords?" And yes, it is. So that's why we always say use a unique password for every website. That way, when the other end leaks your password, it only affects that one website and not every website that you shared that password on. Test. Are you still hearing me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, that's not the mute button. There's no audio settings button. Okay. We're looking at some. This is kind of the quiet quarter because everything that Apple announced is already out, and the Christmas rush comes in for sales on the quarter. Apple did release, I don't see it in the newsroom. Oh, it was only on YouTube, I think I remember reading. They released their holiday um, uh, TV commercial, basically. It's like an 8-minute long one on YouTube on the cool things you can do with um, Apple products. This might be it, the lost voice. So on Apple's YouTube page.
Is Apple still running any holiday deals?
Why, oh
Apple
white
doesn't
creature,
really have
are you
deals.
so quiet?
The annoying thing that
You
they
lost
do
your voice.
is they give you a gift card. So you pay full price, but they might give you, a $20 gift card that you can buy more things from Apple on. So it's not really on sale, they just allow you to buy more Apple things. Let's see. Did they? I don't even think that, yeah. No, that's just the regular trade-in credit. So they said they give you up to $650 trade-in credit for an iPhone. That's probably an iPhone 14 that you paid $1,000 for a year ago. So one of the things that Apple does do is their monthly payment plans. If you put it on the Apple Card, there's no interest. So that's kind of a nice thing. You don't have to pay interest like you would on a regular credit card. Let's see, anything else newsy? Yeah, not too much. There was an update yesterday or day before where they released the Journal app. And a lot of people are wondering what you do with it. It's basically like it's a giant whiteboard you can make a journal with. You can post pictures and text and pretty much anything. It's like a super version of Notes where you can do more than just simple notes and text. So it's a full journal application. There's already dozens of those available from third-party sources, so there's a lot of people questioning on the podcasts about why Apple bothered to make this kind of an app when there's already lots of other ones. And then the concern from all the other companies that now Apple has an app that competes directly with our daily planner app, and so are we in trouble? That's always the problem when Apple comes out with a program that does something that your program already did. They've also expanded their self-service and self-diagnostic process. We noticed that this morning when our diagnostic consoles changed. So you can fix your own devices. It's right now it's limited to what devices it works. 35 different Apple products, but you rent all the tools, and the joke is it's 100 pounds in two giant Pelican cases that show up with all the tools, and then you have the service manual to replace that part, and you might save $10 from going in and having an Apple service center do it themselves. But it can be done. Apple's quick to point that out. This is the whole right to repair push going on to make companies. It was interesting. It was John Deere and Apple were the first two big targets to make their products easier for end users to repair. And so now Apple says, "Yep, you can do it. You probably don't want to, but you can." And then when you destroy something by taking it apart, it's not our fault, and you got to pay full price. Yeah, go ahead, Charlie.
Yeah. Short of attempting the repair and damaging your product, does the diagnostics process help you? Can you use that and help decide how serious your problem is, how much it might cost to have it professionally repaired, yada yada?
Kinda, but the symptoms you have generally already give you an idea. And
Right.
Apple has a repair service website already. There's a button that says how much does it cost, where it gives you the basic costs for common repairs. I just have to find where that is. There we go. How much will it cost? It's a different option. So here's for a phone. What type of damage do you have on your phone? So let's say the front screen. What phone is it? Let's say an 11. And which 11? Let's go 11 Pro. And I say get estimate. So if I have Apple Care Plus, it's $29. If I don't, it's $279. So they have those repairs available for most of their products. Phones, iPads, and Macs. So you can put in what type of damage there is. What's wrong with it. So if your battery's not lasting, you can do a battery repair. That brings up something now too, that Apple recently changed their battery policies. What do we have? We have a 14-inch M1. Um, it used to be that service centers could replace the batteries, and they changed that to be a mail-in. So you have to send your computer to the Apple Service Center for it to get the battery replaced. Part of the issue is that the battery is glued to the underside of the top case. So the typical repair is to replace the entire top case assembly with the keyboard and the trackpad. And what we're seeing is that the mail-in repair, they're actually ungluing the battery and gluing a new one in. So it's technically less of a cost to them because they don't have to replace all the other components too. So it's just the battery. And it usually
Why
only
don't
takes 2 or 3 days.
why don't they let you do that?
Um, I don't know, and I don't think I'd want to. So we've had
All right.
people. OWC sells a battery replacement kit where they give you a bottle of solvent, so that you can unglue the battery yourself. And we've had people bring their computers in where they've basically destroyed the logic board by pouring solvent on it or spilling solvent from inside the battery area onto the logic board area. And it's just a horrible hassle to try to dissolve all that glue.
Yeah.
And that's one of the ways they made the computer smaller and thinner, is by removing all that battery retention mechanism and um, putting gluing the battery in. So now that becomes part of the structural integrity. Anybody else have any newsy type stuff?
You want to look at that malware bytes thing I was talking about?
Yeah.
Let me see if I can do this, Steve. I've got the email open, and if I find, let's see, no, that ain't, yeah, this is it.
Was it in their
So,
blog?
I will need to share my screen, I think, to show it. I don't know, it may be, but let me just show it, so then you can look it up yourself if you want. Now, do I need to share screen to show this to you?
Yeah.
Can I do
You
that?
should now have a fourth icon in the center with the share screen button.
All right. Now, I thought I was being a smart guy by doing all of this on the same window. And I guess what I got to do is go back to the Mastermind Lounge. Oh, that is. Oh, crap. I can't even find that. One moment, please. Nope. 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 Well, this is nuts. Let's try this end. Oh, sorry about this, folks.
Oh yeah, this was big. I'm on the Malware Bytes blog now. So you may have noticed patches, 0.2 patches to everything for Ventura and iPad OS and Sonoma and Monterey, to fix a couple of zero-day bugs that were discovered in the wild. And so Apple released those patches.
The title of this thing is U.S. government is snooping on people via phone push notifications, says Senator. And that Senator Wyden from out in Oregon or someplace. Where the hell did this go?
Yeah,
I can't find this.
I found it.
Good. Now all I got to do is find the meeting again. I'll be back.
All right, now how do I take the presenter back away from you?
Yeah.
Take presenter, okay. Go, window. Push notifications are routed through the servers, yeah. Oh, yeah, the DOJ, a couple of, what is that, attorney generals want the DOJ to require Apple and Google to let the government snoop on all those notifications too. I would bet Apple would strongly not do that. Google might, but probably not. I would imagine if there's a specific subpoena to monitor a specific person, Apple would have to allow it. Um, but a blanket policy to monitor everybody, I'm sure they would deny that. I thought it was another issue. A few months ago, there was a rise in push notification spam, where you start getting basically fake McAfee ads as a push notification to your device.
Okay, for an ignoramus like me, what is a push notification?
It's a notification that's pushed by the company at the other end. Generally, they show up in the upper right corner of your screen, and you can set in the notification settings whether it stays there until you click it, or if it just shows a few minutes and goes away. So normally,
Okay, so sometimes when I'm watching a YouTube video, this little thing will appear in the upper right corner suggesting another video. Is that kind of thing?
yeah. So that was probably some a channel you subscribed to, that you clicked that little bell that you wanted to be notified of new videos,
All right.
and that's how it snuck in. There was a fake ad on a legitimate website that asked for permission to send you notifications. Usually it's something like, do you want to see the top news stories or something like that? And you say yes, and then it starts inundating your notification listing. We had one customer came in that they were getting a new one every couple of seconds. There were hundreds of them just flying by.
Always say no to notifications.
Yeah.
The website asks you.
Especially read it very carefully so you can tell where the notification is coming from. So there's some things I don't mind notifications coming from, but there's most things I don't want to see it. Yeah, so tonight at 11:07 there's a Falcon 9 launch, so I have notifications turned on for that.
And do those notifications then show up no matter what? Once you set up something like you just were talking about, Falcon 9 thing, will that appear no matter what other website or whatever you're on in your computer?
Yes, each website gets its own notification setting. Let me bring that up and show that to you. Share screen. So turning it off is it ends up being the tricky bit. There it is. So in Safari, under settings, under notifications, I have denied many websites the permission to notify me of things, and a couple of them I have allowed. But there's oftentimes the fake one is just called notifications to try to trick you into letting it go through because you think it's a generic notification. But like on YouTube, I've got it set to allow, so when one of the channels I subscribe to posts a new video, it notifies me that it's available.
So you're talking about a channel posting a new YouTube video, right?
Right. So this specifically is the YouTube website is allowed to send me notifications. Every website
But
is
if you
set
were,
separately.
but if you were doing something in a different website, would those YouTube notifications still show up for you?
Yes, in the notification area in the upper right corner of the
Okay,
screen.
right. Thank you.
So when you get one of those fake notifications that come up so often, you have to go into the notification list and deny it, or just remove it so it doesn't have any permission at all.
Okay, what's the difference between denied and no permission at all?
Well, one is overtly denying the permission, and the other is not having any setting. So the next time that website comes up, it will ask again to be allowed or denied.
Yeah, okay.
But typically a malicious website like that has already been found and deleted by the other end.
That's nice.
All right. Any other questions? Looks like we've sort of moved into Q&A.
I have a question.
Sure, go ahead,
So,
Kim.
can you hear me? The last iOS update erased my calendar, and now it goes into this like weird dark mode thing, like red and black, and I don't know how it got into it, and I can't get out of it. And what do I do?
Well, you have to undo whatever you did. So somebody's going to have to see it to see what you did to be able to undo it.
It's like it's dark and it's like red background and like black letters, like numbers. The time. It's like the time floating around the screen. It'll be the time, then it'll be like a clock, and then it'll show the time in like 10 different fashions. And I'm like, what? How did I get in this? Get out! I want it.
I don't even know what that is. I've never seen that in my calendar.
I have no idea.
Yep, somebody's going to have to see it to know what you did.
And I don't know how to bring it up. It just does it. It does it at night, or maybe it does it in the dark. Maybe that's it.
Are you sure it's not just the ordinary lock screen?
No.
Because they added
No,
some widgets to the lock screen,
it's
especially at night, to show you a clock at night.
it's like a weird like home screen, like with the clock, and then you touch it and it goes to a different clock, and you touch it and it goes to a different clock, and I'm like, no,
Yeah,
I want to use my phone.
that sounds like you've got the standard lock screen set up with the different options for the clock at night.
So how do I undo it?
You don't. It's a feature in iOS 17. You just don't turn it on if you don't want to use it.
So how do I turn it off?
Um, the opposite way of the way you turned it on.
I have no
I,
idea how I
I don't
turned it
know.
on.
I'm trying to find it.
I hit things all the time. I go into Do Not Disturb accidentally all the time. Then when I want Do Not Disturb, it still vibrates and rings. I don't understand it. How do I get the damn thing to shut up?
Don't have well. Do not disturb will let VIPs through. So make sure you don't have any VIPs. Then it can't bypass do not disturb. Let me see. Chrome tab. There we are. iOS 17. Is that what it looks like? The clock and the calendar?
No. No, it's like really dark and like hazy, like red background with like a ghostly clock on it.
That may be one of the clock options you turned on accidentally. Let's see. What did they call it?
Did we lose Steve?
I'm not hearing anything.
We lost everybody.
What?
All right, let me turn that back on. Oops. Yeah, so it's probably standby mode, which is in settings to turn off and change the standby mode options.
Settings, not the dashboard thing or whatever. Wait, what was it? Settings what?
Standby. That sounds like what it is, but without seeing it, I can't be sure.
Oh, that red one. Yeah, that red one. That's one of them.
Yeah, that's one of the options in standby mode. So that's a new feature that came in about 4 months ago.
Well, I only started doing this a few days ago.
Maybe that's when you installed it.
Why did it erase my calendar?
It shouldn't have. Something was done wrong, apparently. And you should be able to resync the calendar to whatever service it was on.
So turn off standby mode.
If you don't want it, you can turn it off.
That's it. Okay, good. Just waste my time.
Let's see, calendar accounts. So if you go into settings and calendar accounts, you should be able to set up, tell it to resync to the service your calendar was under. Yeah, so whatever service you were using to sync your calendars. It may not have turned back on, or it may be needing your password.
Settings, calendar.
Right.
And then what?
Accounts.
What?
Accounts.
Accounts. 2.
So you have to know which account you were using for your calendars.
iCloud, Yahoo. Well, it was the Apple calendar.
So make sure that's turned on so it'll sync down from the cloud.
How do I turn it on?
Slide the button till it's on. Green is on, I think.
Well, like you go to calendar and then it's iCloud, Yahoo. So if I go to iCloud, then it's got all the things. Personal info, sign in, payment, iCloud, media, find my... I can't find any sync my account.
Settings, calendar, iCloud, accounts. And then you have to make sure that the calendar is turned on. In mine it says on. It shows a green bullet.
Manage account settings. iCloud backup. Access iCloud data in the web. I still don't see any iCloud settings.
You're not looking for iCloud settings, you're looking for calendar settings.
Well, but I'm in. I backed out of it, and I don't remember where I was.
Calendar,
Where was
accounts, and iCloud, and then under iCloud, go to calendar settings and make sure the calendar sync is on.
I? Calendar, accounts, iCloud, and then what?
Make sure calendar is turned on.
There is no calendar there.
Then you're looking in the wrong place. I can't find a picture that shows where it is.
And we're sure that she's running iOS 17.
Doesn't matter. This has worked with iOS for 10, 15 years.
Okay.
Let's see if I can. I don't know if I can share my phone. I can't even hear myself. Can't even hear myself talk because her background noise is too much. Let me try this. So if I join this again, and if I give my phone presenter options, I'm going to mute the phone. Presenter. Nope, that's the slide. No, I can't share my phone screen. Maybe I can share the iPad screen. Sounds like, Kim, you need to make an appointment at the Genius Bar and get all your questions answered at once. No, Apple. CIDER.
Yeah, when I was in the Apple store the other day, I noticed that the Apple Genius guys were all hanging out together instead of helping customers.
Okay, listen only. Make presenter. Close, close. Share a video. Nope. Can't share the iPad screen either. So I don't know if I can point the camera. Let me turn off my virtual background. And let me go back to all the way back. So no one can read that. So we're in settings. And then go to calendar. So that gives you the calendar settings. And then go to accounts. And then go to iCloud. And then go to iCloud services. And go to show all. And iCloud calendar should be on. And I suppose it's possible that the service is syncing, but you just turned off the calendar. So if you go into the calendar app and go to calendars at the bottom, you choose what calendars you see. So it depends if the calendars are there or not. If the calendars are not there, then you've got the service turned off. If the calendars are there but not showing, then you can show them in the calendar setting. Let me turn this back on. All right. Well, maybe that might be enough time for on that one. Any other questions? Or are we ready to take a break?
I saw something that disappointed me a little bit. I was looking at various external monitors for my Mac Mini. And after I looked at the Apple specs, I realized that it would only drive monitors at 60 hertz, which I thought was kind of wimpy for Apple. You would have thought that they would have offered something better. It's not until you get into the Mac Mini M2 Pro that you can actually use 240 hertz for a monitor.
Yeah, which Mac Mini do you have?
It's an M2. It's the bottom of the line one.
That's probably why. Let's see, 6K at 60 hertz, 5K at 60 hertz. Also matters whether you're going over Thunderbolt or HDMI.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just kind of disappointed at that spec. I thought, wow, Apple, you know, I think you could have done better than that.
Yeah, I wonder if that's a marketing engine. If you want to run better monitors, you should have got an M2 Pro. There has been an issue with how many monitors the Mac can run. And the M1 models can run 2 monitors, and the Pro models can run 3, and then the Pro Max models can run, was it 4, and then the Ultra models can run 6 because it has the extra bandwidth for additional monitors.
Well, it'll still probably be fine, but I was just surprised that it was that low. Because most of the monitors, even with my older machines, I can usually use 75 hertz.
That may have been a discrete video card. So part of it is a bandwidth issue on the unified video on the Apple Silicon chip.
You mean because it's all in one chip?
Right. So if we go to the studio and displays, yeah, so the Max can do 5 displays and the Ultra can do 8 displays. So basically a Pro is 2 regulars, the Max is 2 Pros, and the Ultra is 2 Maxes.
But notice all are pretty much 60 hertz except for The 240 hertz that you can do.
Yeah, 240 over HDMI.
Yeah.
So Thunderbolt is limited to 60 hertz. Thunderbolt is HDMI. So let me see, what does the Mac Pro do? Well, because that's already an Ultra. And you can put in more video cards if you need to have more video. Memory storage display. Yeah, you can have 8 displays on the standard video card. And then you can put in more video cards to give you more displays if you need.
And again, 60 hertz.
Yep.
Hmm.
So that's just must be part of the architecture of Thunderbolt.
I guess so.
Thunderbolt 5, maybe?
Well,
Oh, wait, there was one that looked good. Thunderbolt 4, HDMI 2, maximum refresh. Oh, somebody asking the question. You find a lot of people asking questions. You don't necessarily find people answering the questions.
Because people always have more questions than there are answers.
Yeah. I read
I'm curious about the difference between 240 hertz and 60 hertz. What's the practical difference?
60 to 120 has a visible difference. I haven't seen any visible difference between 120 and 240.
What's the difference 60 and 120? What do
Everything
you see different?
everything is sharper and clearer.
It also has to do with frame rates and whether or not there's tearing
Yeah.
while you're playing video games and that type of thing.
Right, especially if there's fast motion. The higher the refresh rate is, the sharper the images are, without any, as Rick said, tearing. So if like a ball is moving across the screen, it can like tear in half if on 1/60th of a second here and the next 60th of a second it's there, if it's moving really fast. So if it refreshes at 120 times a second, it can provide better quality and less options like that. So the higher you can push a refresh, the clearer it gets. Did you go see what was it? Was it The Hobbit that was released at 120 hertz? And everybody, the biggest complaint about it was it looked too real.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yes.
It didn't look like a movie. It looked like a window, and
Yeah.
it looked too real.
It looked like they were on stage or something. It was very strange.
Yeah, and so there was a disconnect between what you were expecting a movie to look like and what it did look like, and the fact that because the video quality is higher, it's like you can see the stitches in the costumes, and you can see the
Right.
makeup smudges around the
Makeup.
edges.
You can see people's pores on their faces.
Yeah. Yeah, that doesn't answer my question either.
What was that?
Yeah, the high frame rate and high refresh rate of movies that came out.
Are you talking about a specific movie in general?
I think it was the first Hobbit movie.
Yeah, it was one of the Lord of the Rings, universe. One of those movies. I remember it. Yeah.
Yeah. So they did 48 frames per second at 120 hertz. When normal movies are 24 frames per second. Actually, all 3 of the Hobbit movies came out that way. But after the first one came out and there were so much complaints, I don't remember theaters showing the second and third one at the high frame rate.
All right, did you want to take a break?
Yeah, I think we're probably ready.
All right, well, it's 8:19. Do you want a 5-minute break or 10-minute break? Till 8:30? It's 10 minutes.
That sounds good. I got a bigger bottle this time, so I didn't have to refill it as many times.
Okay.
All right. Yep, back in 10.
I'll be right back.
Put new ones in the can. Sit down. I turned it off. I thought I muted. You can. Well, I thought I muted it. Oh well. Off I go. All right. Everybody back?
You have very
I'm
loud
back.
footsteps.
All right. Well, let's go onward then. So are we going to continue on with what you're doing, or shall we discuss what holiday gift ideas?
Yeah. I'm trying to
Well,
see
before
what
we
day
do
of
that,
Hanukkah
I
we
have
are.
a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Bob.
We had a Zoom meeting on Monday, and normally I'm in here on the iMac, and Carol joins the Zoom meeting from the laptop, M1, in the other room, and it was breaking up like crazy. And we did a speed test, and where here I'm getting, 400 or 500, 450 megabits download and 511 upload. That's what my last speed test a few minutes ago was. In the other room, she had less than 1 megabits download. And I'm not quite sure why that would be. Because we're both using wireless. Neither of us are plugged in with Ethernet to the router. And she was only in the other room. Although we do have plaster walls, with chicken wire, I think, in them.
Yeah, that's probably it. There was probably some interference between the router and her.
We haven't had that before, though. Normally it's a problem. Today it's probably not a problem. We haven't talked a lot today, but
Maybe one of your
Today
neighbors.
I have no problem. Today I can hear everybody fine. Nobody's breaking up like they were on Monday, and we did nothing different to the laptop.
Maybe one of your neighbors had a ham radio running.
it was really peculiar, though, because she thought I was breaking up. She kept complaining about it, and then we switched. She came in here, and I took the laptop, and I did the speed test, and it was incredible because it was less than 1. It was 0.85 megabits per second download.
What kind of computer?
MacBook
Air.
M1.
Oh,
What wireless router is it?
It's an Eero.
That should be okay.
It's always been reliable. You recommended it
Mm-hmm.
to me, and I think we've had it in there for maybe 3 years.
That's what I've got here
More.
too. One
The
thing.
fact that it's working fine today makes me think it was just some weird thing in the air.
did you restart the computer?
No.
Yeah, well, we've changed users, which basically sets up a new account.
No, but I'm talking about actually, restarting the computer. Sometimes it resets everything.
Or restarting the router.
I didn't restart the laptop. Did you, Bob?
No, I don't think so. Usually we just shut it down. And I hardly ever restart the iMac. But we don't have the problem here.
Well, I'm just happy that it disappeared and everything's
Itself,
working
yeah.
now. Yeah, fixed itself.
One of the things you can sometimes try, I'm in the Eero app myself, seeing if I can find where it is join the 5 gigahertz network and not the 2.4. 2.4 goes through walls better, but the 5 gigahertz is less crowded and often has better better bandwidth.
Reception?
Reception, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Now, how am I going to get to that again?
I'm trying to find it in here. My guess is that the Eero doesn't let you pick. It picks the best one itself. With
I know
other,
it says. Oh, go ahead.
yeah, so
Go
with
ahead.
other routers, you can name the 5 gigahertz network something different, and that way you can manually pick which one you're on. But it doesn't look like in the Eero you can set up different network.
Well, I probably have to go to system preferences and
You go to your Wi-Fi settings and join the name of your 5 gigahertz network, which should be different, which could be different than your 2.4 gigahertz network depending on the router. But it doesn't look like the Eero has that option.
so I go to network for that, right?
Right.
Why does the 2.4 go through walls better?
Lower frequency can penetrate things better.
Oh, that was a good question. Thank you.
Not sure I understand the physics of it, but oh
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Well, the lower frequency is a longer wavelength.
Longer
that's-
wavelength.
that's
Okay,
probably
that makes
what
sense.
makes it work
That
better.
makes sense. Yeah.
Well, considering a lot of people have older homes too, which were made with all sorts of materials
Yeah.
back in the
definitely.
day. Unless you live in a modern house, in which case it's probably
If I walk through my house with my phone, trying to be on Wi-Fi on my phone, going from one room to the next, it's like good, no good, good, no good.
It's the same. It's the same here.
It's like
Our
walking
house
2
is-
steps makes a
Yeah,
huge difference.
our house is, I think, built in the 1940s.
Yeah, it looks like
So
Eero
it's
doesn't
still-
let you choose. You can turn off 5 gigahertz if you're having a problem with a 2.4 only network. I've run into that now and then with security cameras that only work on 2.4 gigahertz. So I have to go into the Eero settings and temporarily pause the 5 gigahertz network. So the Eero does all that management for you, so you can't pick which network you're on.
Okay. Well, hopefully, we'll continue to have
Yeah.
success.
So since everything's
that
working
was-
now, it probably was an environmental issue yesterday.
Yeah.
Possibly some neighbor had a bad electronic device that was spewing out radio noise.
I have no idea. With the wind, I mean, it was super windy. Would that have anything to do with it?
It shouldn't.
Okay.
Your microwave wasn't going crazy yesterday, was it? 'Cause that's microwaves are 2.4 gigahertz. You turn your microwave on and it messes up your Wi-Fi.
I did not know that, but no, we didn't have the microwave
No,
going.
4 o'clock we didn't.
No. But I'll keep that in mind.
We had a customer whose network went nuts at random times during the day, and no one could figure out why. And then we finally realized that the next company's break room was opposite one of the walls, and anytime someone, used the microwave in that break room, it put so much noise into the office that it hurt the 2.4 network.
Oh my God. Interesting.
It's good you figured that one out. That's a tough one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, over at, we have a rental property that we're rehabbing now, and they're new neighbors. And I haven't really seen the whole family, but allegedly there are like 7 or 9 kids and 2
Wow.
adults in there. And I saw one of the girls, probably a high school girl, maybe 14, 15. And I saw her out in the street. It's a dead end street. And I realized eventually she was out there because she had her laptop with her. And she was trying to pick up somebody else's internet. They probably don't have internet installed at home yet. So she was out in the street walking up and down with the computer.
Trying to find an open Wi-Fi.
Yeah, it was a warmer day, not like today, but still.
Suspicious behavior.
Yes.
Teenager
Yes.
walking up and down streets.
I see people cruising around in cars sometimes around, like the cul-de-sacs and stuff, looking for. I think that's what they're looking for.
Yeah, there's a lot of stories. People doing their homework, going into like a McDonald's parking lot or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it was nice that schools were able to issue Chromebooks to students, but if the parents didn't have high-speed internet, that didn't help much.
Well, that's part of the big promise of the IRA, the infrastructure bill that was passed is got a lot of money in it for internet to rural areas and underserved areas.
Yeah, but rural is one thing, underserved urban is another.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
both.
Yeah.
It was big money, billions of dollars, and going to that.
Yeah, Spectrum got in trouble. Well, it was Time Warner at the time, got in trouble. They had promised the New York State Public Service Commission that they would expand their network in agreement to allow them to keep television service in New York. And they added, what was it? They wired like a building in New York City that had 1,000 units in it. And so they said, yeah, we added 1,000 new connections. And Public Service Commission said, no, that doesn't count.
So are we going to talk about gadgets tonight?
Yeah. Any other last questions? And then we'll go to gadgets. I found a cute website. Well, a couple of them. One of them was The Verge, which is a very popular tech blog. Their gift guide. They had a Lego piranha plant.
What?
Oh.
So apparently they have several different plants, so you can make Lego plants out of it.
Oh my God.
That looks like
That's six-
whatchamacallit from the Little Shop of Horrors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Yep.
But $60 is an awful lot of money.
It's
Oh,
Lego.
For just
Yeah.
a little thingy. Oh man.
Well, it's
we were
500
looking at some of the Lego stuff. It's
540
crazy.
pieces.
Well, Lego is one of those pricey brands that
Yeah. Air tags are popular stocking stuffers.
Yeah, we noticed that
$29 each and 4 for $100.
the Lego Disney Castle was $400.
yes, I went to the store last week to the Lego store in the mall, and they had a Avengers Tony Stark's building. You know, the Avengers headquarters. It was like 3 feet, 4 or 5 feet tall. I think it was like $500.
Yeah.
But it was like very cool. I mean,
I found this amazing Lego set.
yeah.
Battlestar Galactica. 23,000 pieces
Oh my God.
for
$2,700.
Yep.
Your life would be over by the time you complete it.
I was saying, yeah, this would be your Christmas present
Yeah.
for the next 20 years.
And it's 10%
And
off.
you'd have to have a space to make it because it would probably be so big.
Yeah, it's 26 inches. Yeah, 60 inches long, so that's 2 yards, right? Yeah.
5 feet.
5 feet.
That's pretty big. They didn't have a picture with someone holding it.
Well, at the JCC, they've been having a series of jigsaw puzzles available out on a table where anybody can come and contribute to putting it together. And they've had like 3,000 and 4,000. I think 3,000 was the biggest one. But, that many pieces.
Well, I like Lego. I mean, I like the putting together. And I asked the guy when I went to the Lego store, and I said, what happens to the displays after they did, new ones come along? And he goes, well, every so often they might have a raffle where one of the employees can win it. But he said most cases it goes back to the company and they just take it apart, and put the pieces out there or whatever. And he said part of the fun though was making it, not so much after it was done, but the whole thing with Lego is just pitting your brain skills against all those little pieces and a million pieces, and finally at the end coming up with something, and then display it. So they just enjoyed putting it together and then go on to the next one. So we have many Legos in our house. Courtesy of Matthew.
I ordered one for Matthew for Christmas and didn't realize it was coming
You
from
did?
China.
Really?
So
Which one did you get him?
it's on the boat from China. It's been a week and a half already.
So what did you get him?
The robot thing
What robot thing?
that was on his wish list.
All I saw was just a helmet.
Hopefully he's not watching.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to get him a Lego set. Good thing you said that.
It would warn you if someone else bought it.
Yeah, but I'm
That
saying
particular one. You can never have too many Lego sets, right?
Oh, my list has got a few Lego sets on it. Mostly Harry Potter because one of them was from last year that I couldn't get, so I put it on there, and I took one off because it went from like $20-some up to $60. For some reason, I guess it's hard to find now, and the price was like ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's the Avengers Tower.
$500.
But it's cool looking, isn't it? I mean, I don't know. A lot of time and effort. They had the Gringotts, Harry Potter Gringotts one with a
only
bank, and it
5,000
was as tall as that.
Well, for $100 more, you could have a Mac Mini for that price.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Gringotts Bank.
114 Lego Harry Potters.
I know. I like that one with the Diagon Alley
There you
one.
go. Yeah.
The Wesley's
Gringotts
Wizardess.
Bank,
Yeah, that's it
$459.
right there. That one is as tall as the 3 or 4 feet itself. It's huge.
5,000
Then
pieces.
they were displaying the Orient Express, which was interesting because that's long. It's not tall. And then they had a humongous Star Wars ship, which was huge.
Only 1,000 pieces.
Well, not that one. This was the Orient Express. It wasn't Harry Potter.
So that's with Lego. You've got all the different tie-in themes. So you've got Marvel and Disney, and
We got Indiana
Star
Jones now,
Wars.
too.
there's some Star Wars ones. $650 for a attack cruiser.
I think that's what they had. I took a picture of it. It was humongous.
There's one that looks the same for $69.
I know. But it's a smaller version.
5,000 pieces in one and 600 pieces in the other.
I don't know. So Matthew wanted one of those heads, is what I saw. Like that.
Yeah.
Like a helmet or something. And if you don't get it when you see it, they discontinue it and then you can never find it. They had a great set a couple years ago. It was UFOs, Mars attacks kind of thing. Had all these little green UFOs and aliens, and I was going to get it, and I kept putting it off, and then they're gone. It's like I've never seen them anywhere.
You tried eBay?
I don't know if I've looked at eBay, but it was like there was like 5 or 6 in the set. It was just one of their, I don't know, things that came out. But it was very cute looking, and I remember going, "Oh, I should get that," and then
That's a neat one.
just didn't get it. Wow, $800! Holy cow!
And look how big it is.
think
Wow.
I'd really love it to. Man.
Some of those you got to sit next to
6,700
someone.
pizzas.
Wow. That would, well, it's a challenge. Besides the price, it's a challenge. And hopefully you end up looking like that at the end. I just want Dobby. See how cute he is? The house elf. His little book. He should have a sock. Oh, he's got a sock. Okay.
Oh, he's small.
Yeah, they're not that big. You could get him a little miniature sock and make him a little felt sock to put in his book.
It's only $35 for that one.
Seems cheap compared to the other ones.
Yeah.
Now, my favorite is Raven's Claw. That's my house for Harry Potter, and there's a new Raven's Claw little set.
No, they don't split it that way.
Hogwarts.
So we always used to go to Think Geek.
Yeah, I know.
They,
That's terrible that it's gone.
They're gone. Got bought by GameStop, and now it's GameStop Collectibles.
Which is nothing. I don't have really anything. There's there's a collectible thing. Uncommon Goods is another one that has not so much nerdy things, but it's got supposedly things that you don't find anywhere else. But I guess that depends on what you consider things you can't find anywhere else when you're looking for it.
I put a link for the 3D printers online store.com. That's kind of interesting. 3D printers have come down quite a bit in price, and there's much more of a variety now than there was before.
Well, you can 3D a lot of stuff now.
And there's a lot of new materials coming out to print with, too.
Mm-hmm.
We've been seeing a lot of guys in the model club have started doing 3D printing airplanes.
Neat.
Oh, that's a cool idea.
That's a good idea.
The
Yeah.
one,
If it's light enough.
yeah, one of the side effects that Tony didn't count on was the plastic started melting on a really hot day.
Uh-oh.
So
Okay.
the wing got soft and drooped.
Well, that would
Really? It
definitely
didn't take-
affect the airfoil there, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting that it must have a very low temperature if it drooped just for a day.
Yeah. Well, it has to be able to melt to start with to create the thing, but
Most
Right.
most of the melting
Yeah.
is at 200 centigrade.
Yeah, that's what I
So you
mean.
wouldn't
It's
think-
like,
Even in 100 degrees in the hot sun would
Yeah.
would do much.
well, I could see if it was sitting out in the hot sun for a while, but if you were just taking it and flying, it doesn't seem like that would be melting that quickly, unless
mean,
he
you have
had
to
it sitting in the sun and then he flew it.
But I mean, I think you'd have to be careful of what kind of materials you use to make your things.
You can print
Now
your
we have a
pizza.
food printer.
Yeah.
So you know what? This is like the what do you call it? Thing in Star Trek,
A replicator.
the replicator
Yeah.
with food.
You see, it's a common meme in a lot of science fiction stories is 3D printed food.
Chocolate.
Yeah, look at the prices on that. That must be because the food printing is a popular thing now, especially with some of the restaurants.
Well, you have to go buy the food to begin
You have
with.
to, yeah, you have to have the right materials to use to print with. You know, I mean, you can't
Like-
just use mashed potatoes for everything.
Yeah, you got to have like chocolate, like it shows there, and ooze. You got to have ooze in order to make anything, which doesn't sound good. I'm like, just go to the grocery store and get your own food.
Ooh, you can print your own pancakes.
Oh, that would be
that.
cool. That would be
See,
cool.
I
like
I
that.
could see that for like some things like that, little
All right,
hors
Rick, put it on my
d'oeuvres.
list. Put it on my list.
This,
Way too expensive.
I
this
know.
looks
That's crazy.
this one looks like you make your own batter to put into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I could see that where you do your own thing and then it just puts all the designs on it. But no, but see, here, look, it's only $6,000 for chocolate.
Well, here's one that has a dual head, so it can print two different things at the same time.
Ugh, $7,000.
$7,000.
I think some of these would be if you wanted to have a business set up where you actually do these things, you know.
Yeah.
And it's in Chinese, so
But the
think of how
cheapest
much
one I
money you
saw was $119, and then there was a cheaper one. I think it's more of a do-it-yourself for $82.
Yeah, if you want to assemble it yourself, there's some pretty cheap ones.
Yeah.
how much did you pay for Matthews back in the day?
That was probably over 200.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they were 200 to 300 easy.
And we took it to a CIDER meeting, and it hasn't worked since.
Yeah.
What
It was probably the alien that you printed that.
don't the heads get clogged just like they do on
Yeah.
Printers.
like sprayers, paint sprayers?
if
That's
you-
the
yeah,
so many paint sprayers go bad because
if-
people let them dry.
You don't use it enough, and it dries out.
Yeah.
And then
Well, I guess
there's a website called Thingiverse, and there's several of them actually. Sure, go ahead. These are other people's 3D models that you download the file, load it into your printer, and then you can print these things yourself.
Oh, like the ornament.
Yeah,
That's cute.
so they've already done all the footwork.
yeah.
Yeah,
If you
it's
like
on the
the
math.
There we go. Yeah, Yagi is the one I was thinking of. So that's a search engine for the search engines. So it'll go through all of the other. So 5 million models listed. Let's see about the Battlestar Galactica. Yeah, if you want a finger flipping you off. Oh yeah, here we go. We can get the whole Galactica.
Pardon me, Steve.
Yep.
How's your volume going into YouTube now?
I haven't looked lately. Well, you were overdriven and I'm a little underdriven.
That sounds about right.
Okay, did I mute? Mute. Okay, now it's unmuted. So one of the big things with the larger models is how many pieces it is, and then you have to glue them all together. So the front hull takes 28 hours to print. The center takes 32 hours to print. The back takes 35 hours to print.
wow.
So then there's other places where you can say get it printed, where they will print it for you and send you the fully assembled thing. That's the new Galactica. I want the classic Galactica. Yeah, so there's all the pieces on this particular model. So you can, if you design something yourself, you can upload it and let other people get it too. Let's search for Harry Potter. There you go. You can print your own Harry, print your own Ron. He who shan't be named. There's little Dobby.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, I like that.
All right, well, I just sent you another link for stuff. It may be controversial, so that'll generate some good conversation, I think.
Ubelic origin has prevented access to this page. It's got something bad in it.
Well, that's weird.
No, it's my
Well,
it's my blocker blocking it. So I have to. Where's my button that says allow?
Oh, it's
anyway?
because there's an affiliate program associated with it.
Um,
Must be a link.
yeah. How do I tell uBlock Origin to let it pass? I don't remember.
Don't warn me again about this site.
It's got a thing you can check. Box.
Check the box and then say proceed.
Yeah, that worked.
Okay, there you go.
Oh, Temu.
Yeah,
There is so much
I've
crap
seen-
on Temu. And
Yeah,
there is. And
they
there's even-
advertise everywhere on social media.
And I
They're all
came
over the
across
place.
some of the Apple Chinese watch ripoffs, and they look just like the Apple Watch. Very cheap.
I saw something that looked exactly like an iPhone, but it was running Android. Cheap Chinese crap. Oh, here you go. Phone case that looks like a Nintendo game controller. Let's search for Harry Potter here.
Into a puzzle.
Oh, I see. I'm doing it wrong. You can't just slide it all the way. I got to slide it to the right place.
It's a puzzle.
There you go. Oh, you got it.
An interesting little thing there.
Yeah.
Harry Potter clock. No, that's, yeah, puzzle. 50-piece puzzle for $2.49. I don't know if I'd ever trust any of these to actually show up.
I mean, the prices are so cheap that you're like, really?
I would almost trust Banggood better. Same kind of thing for cheap Chinese stuff.
There's another site called Shine, Shein. I keep getting a lot.
Yeah.
It's sort of the same thing where everything is really cheap.
Is it IE or EI? EI.
Shein.
Yep. No, go away, go away, go away.
So was this Chinese stuff, or I read
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
Temu had moved to Ireland or something, and I don't know what's going on there.
The truth about Temu. Complaints.
Yeah.
Chinese Pindudoodoo.
So they have a Boston
It's,
headquarters, an Ireland-based Chinese company.
Oh my god.
you
What
see
could
that
go
it
wrong?
says, developing a reputation for undelivered packages. Do that. Mysterious something or other.
What's this one?
Well, you
Yeah.
want to look at stuff
Yeah.
more recent too, from
Yeah.
2023.
Yeah. So yeah, some of these less than reputable.
Well, that's where
sites,
you gotta say if that's what you want and you're prepared to maybe not get your packages or
Yeah.
have cheap crap, maybe that's,
Don't expect
you know,
it
if you're a
to.
teenager, maybe that's what you like. You know, they don't care so much sometimes. They just like stuff.
Well, like I said, it was a controversial site,
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
most,
What,
and it's
What?
important to look at.
Well, and if
for that
something
reason.
looks too good to be true, you know what they say. So
right. Everybody's crazy and then they find out, well, maybe I didn't need that after all. Oh well. But that's commerce, right? People like your stuff or they don't.
Yeah, let me see if I got another
90% off. So there was one of those notification pop-ups that wanted to notify me of something.
Any repeats out there on the floor? Repeats? Repeats.
All right, we're back.
All right, there's also another site if you like t-shirts called TeePublic. However, I found when using them that for some reason when they get to be delivered, they hang out at the post office for a week. I had this problem last year. I don't know why. But you can put your own art on shirts and have them printed and all sorts of stuff. So it's sort of like Etsy where people make those shirts for you. It all is branched out to all sorts of artists.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
Is that like a reference to a particular thing, or
Yeah,
is it just?
it's been a meme going around for a while.
Oh, okay.
Usually with things on fire. It's fine. I'm fine. Everything's fine.
All right, I just put another link in perpetualkid.com.
Perpetual Kid. What was that site that my mind is blanking?
You can grow your
Chuck
own
had
Yeti.
that he was talking about the shower heads and different things.
I have my notes here somewhere.
I hit the grow your own Yeti button. There it is. Grow your own Yeti. Is that like a chia pet?
I don't know.
Talks about adding your own water.
Yeah, so he must grow. Maybe he's slimy when you
Oh
get
no,
him.
it's Frost.
What?
It looks like Frost.
Read down.
You
Scroll down.
probably fill them with water and then you shove them
Submerge him
in the
and
freezer.
watch the magic. He expands 4 inches.
Oh, it starts out a little tiny thing and he grows up to 4 inches in water.
Right, it's one of those water things.
I wonder if it shrinks back down when it dries off, and then you can make him grow and shrink repeatedly.
It doesn't say that, but maybe it does.
Maybe it takes forever for him to dry out.
He sucks up all the water.
Oh, here's a Bigfoot for you.
Ooh,
Same thing.
you Bigfoot.
It looks like the poop emoji.
Yeah, I was thinking that. Yeah.
The pointy head.
I came across one on this site called, what was it? Cat butt gum.
What was
And
it?
it's just peppermint gum. There, you found it.
Cat butt gum?
Yeah,
I found
Steve found a
pictures.
picture of it up there.
I'm not seeing a place to actually buy it from.
Well, click on it.
Cat
Maybe
butt
you can grab it.
gum. So you're supposed to give it to your cat or what?
No, it has nothing to do with that.
It's just a.
Is it a joke?
It's more of a brand name than anything.
Is
It
it
just says,
gum?
oh, chew this when you're feeling selfish or
Oh, okay.
the world's
so it's
getting
actual-
down on you
So
and
it's
you
actual
want to
gum.
ignore it.
There it is.
It's just gum.
I saw a
Peppermint gum.
I saw a cookie cutter that was a cat's butthole.
Kiss my ass attitude.
Yeah. Just the back of the box is kind of interesting.
There's a bumper sticker for you. Oh, this is cinnamon gum. I've seen that as a bumper sticker. I like the,
Well, it just proves that there's something out there for everyone.
And of course, if you want to make your own T-shirts and stuff, you can always go to Cafe Press and Etsy.
Yep.
Here you go, Rick. Here's one for you.
Now,
Life of a Coder, yeah. Yeah, that's
There's
about
a-
right.
There's another site I like that it's called Monsters Among Us. That's got some really cool T-shirts.
Introverting.
Yes, I work at tech support. No, I won't work on your computer.
Did you try turning it on and off again?
I like the I'm not qualified to diagnose, but I do have some theories.
Yeah.
Or
What was that last one, Shirley?
Monsters Among Us.
Oh, that podcast you listen to?
Yes, he has a really cool store.
I'll put the link in the chat, and then we can save them all.
He's got a lot of interesting T-shirts and different artists who do different logos for him. So his gift card thing is his main logo, but then he's got he's got Bigfoot, so he's got UFOs. All depends on what you Men in Black. For a podcast, he's got a lot of different things. You can have stickers, you can have whatever.
Here's one with all the different monsters.
Yeah, see, that's it. It can be whatever monster you like, but that's cool with all the Mothman and Bigfoot and Men in Black.
What are the three guys?
I can't think of what they are, but they're sort of like Men in Black. And there's always three of them, and they're just silent, and you see them late at night on the edges. They're sort of the intimidating kind of things.
Oh, you can buy ringtones too. Of his theme.
He's got a very deep voice. And it was interesting when I've heard him talk on other things, he doesn't talk like that. When he does this podcast, he's got sort of a lower voice kind of thing. But he's grown on me. So he has an interesting thing. He basically has people call in with their reports of what they've seen, and then he sort of dissects it a little, and that's about it. So he doesn't really do a lot per se. So he never talks to anybody. They just call in and leave a message. So there's interesting ones.
Okay, there's a couple more links. Smalldog.com is still around.
Small
Some
dog.
mostly Apple products, but they do have a lot of accessories and stuff.
So it's not small dogs?
They have a mascot as their small dog, and they like you to send pictures of your dogs.
Oh.
Yeah. And they sell refurbished computers and things.
Pre-loved. Pre-loved cables.
So do they buy stuff then, I would assume?
They probably, yeah, they do trade-ins.
Because otherwise, where are they going to get their pre-loved stuff?
Here it is, trade-in program.
No more than 4 years old. iPad, no more than
Yeah,
6
isn't that sad that
No one
You
wants,
can't trade in your old
3 years old is too old for a computer?
no one wants to buy anything that old.
This guy I'm working for, he had a 17-year-old computer. And he wanted to know if he could update it.
This classic too, yeah.
Not much.
If you wait long enough, then it's a collector's item.
Yeah,
Well, it was an easy one for you to answer. All you had to say was no.
yeah, I did. And then he said, I'm going to get a new laptop, and that'll be the end of it. his big thing was he had stuff on the computer and he just was reluctant to have to transfer it and thought he could just, I said, no. So I guess his son-in-law helps him out with IT on occasion too.
Well, if he's going to transfer, he might have to go through some hoops, and it's not all going to come over too.
Well, I have to say is he's pretty savvy computer-wise. He has a Mac for his computer, but he's doing Android for the laptop. I guess everything is Android. He just said they're expensive, and you don't want to spend the money.
So Stephen is showing off Newegg. You can see they've got an awful lot of stuff now.
Yeah,
Is that all computer stuff and gaming?
Yeah, and they're a very reputable company with really amazing prices on a lot of things. Everyone needs to get a drone.
How much is a drone?
And then you have to register it.
Some of them have really come down in price. I was quite impressed.
You can get a micro drone for like $20.
We watched the great Christmas light fight, and one of the houses had 500 drones in their backyard and did a whole Christmas display up in the air.
Well, that was cheating because that
Yeah, it was because they had a company.
Yeah, that guy has a company that does drone shows like that.
But he had his house all decorated too, so.
But there was a Millennium Falcon I clicked on and it disappeared.
You have to put millennial in front of it.
I can't spell millennium. Yeah.
I thought I saw something there. There it is, over on the right.
That was Lego. There was a flying drone.
Oh.
There's a get a trebuchet.
Well, maybe it was so popular it's sold out already.
Yeah. It was under drones. Learning and education. And then buildings? No. Oh, I bet it was a Lego or building block. It wasn't a flying drone. It depends if you want a toy or if you want a aircraft. One of the big things is how fast is the wind and how hard can you fly against the wind. So if your drone can do 10 miles an hour, you don't want to fly in a 20-mile-an-hour wind.
Well, it was windy today.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yes, it was.
Over to the neighbor's yard as you try to get it down out of the sky as quick as possible.
We've had a few of those.
Here's one. There's a website I found where it'll tell you if it's good to fly.
Like model airplanes?
Yeah.
Okay, not really.
Yeah, you want a calm day.
Yeah, so you can tell it the max wind you want. So current conditions right now.
A little cold.
It's too cold. Yep. But our club does our annual freeze-in on New Year's Day. We've got a nice clubhouse with a big roaring fire and potluck food, but you put your heavy coat on and go out and fly around and then come back in and warm your hands up.
Well, I'm glad to hear they don't fly your drones in the house.
No,
Yeah, the small ones do. Actually,
there's some dedicated guys there, let me tell you.
one of the guys, he's built like 3 or 4 of them already. He's doing small, here we go, yeah, indoor.
I don't know what you've been told. But time is running out, no need to take it slow. I'm stepping to you toe to toe. I should be scared, honey, maybe so. But I ain't worried about it right now. Keep them dreams alive. 1999 heroes. I ain't worried about it right now.
of the guys fly out of Pinnacle Athletic Center. Come on, let me go to his site. So that's one of his big planes. Let's see. There's one.
You probably shouldn't play the audio because of the music.
Well, theoretically, he did royalty-free music. Or he's paying a license for it already. But yeah, you're right. So he might have paid the license, but when we stream it back into YouTube, it might block us because we didn't pay the license.
Yep.
He's got his kids on there. Here's an indoor one. 4th generation flyers. His 7-year-old and his 9-year-old. So he flies his airplanes like a helicopter, hovering them, and go under the net. Wow. Then he flies his helicopters like airplanes, slow and smooth circuits.
Does anybody else have any other sites?
So here's what you can get me, Shirley. There's Remy in his 20-foot long C-17. There was a
No, I don't think so.
The thumbnail had a picture of him standing next to it. There it is.
No, besides,
you store it
you
in
have
your
no
house.
place to build at.
It wouldn't even fit in your garage.
No.
It breaks down into pieces.
Yeah, well, it's not summer out.
No,
It still wouldn't fit into your
this
garage.
is at Tyler Perry's hangar in Georgia. So they.
Yes, you need to build a hangar, Steve.
Yep. Yeah, there's the hangar.
If you're going to get something that big, it might as well have a seat on it so you can fly yourself on it, right?
They had a CNC mill that they carved out of foam, and then he laid it out with fiberglass and carbon fiber, making this thing. It's big enough that he can crawl inside of it. When they were doing all the internal wiring, he crawled inside of it. There's the lathe and the mill. So that's the biggest toys.
Yeah, he's got a lot invested in equipment and planes, that's for sure.
Yeah, here's a 3D printed Boeing 747.
People with a lot of money and a lot of time.
Well, just time to let it print.
Steve,
Yes.
are those actual working jet engines on those models?
Technically, yes. They suck air in the front and blow it out the back as a jet.
Do they call them turbofans or
Well,
what?
this one is probably an electric ducted fan, an EDF. So it's just a fan spinning with electricity. There are turbine engines which actually have a jet turbine, which it's the suck, squeeze, bang, blow. It sucks air in the front, compresses it down, and then lights it with fuel and ignites it out the back.
That's a real jet when you do that.
Yep.
It would be dangerous, I think, to fly it.
We had a jet turbine at our air show last summer. Our field is a little. I don't know if you can hear the turbine when he winds it up. Our field's a little too small for jets because they go too fast. But we had a guy that's a really, really good pilot. This is a special one too with thrust catering. The Sukhov is a very good. guy standing nearby with a fire extinguisher just in case. Here's a see-through jet turbine.
I use jet engines like this in a lot of my projects, mostly because I like extreme, and jet engines are pretty extreme. And since I'm using jet engines in a bunch of upcoming videos, I figured it would only be appropriate to show everybody what's going on inside of a jet.
Here it is. Suck, squeeze, bang, blow. There's a 747. Yeah, in the KLM livery. There you go. That one's only 3,500. Oh, it's out of stock.
You see, for that price, you could have gotten one of the Apple headsets.
Yeah. They had a picture at one point of someone sitting on the fuselage riding it.
Oh my god.
There's the avionics bay.
You're starting to put so much money into those. You might as well just look into the ultralight aircraft and just fly yourself.
Yeah. Well, and the crazy thing is, you need less license and regulations on a ultralight than you do on an RC.
Well, the difference there is probably you're risking your own life, so they figure you're going to be safer.
Yeah, this had someone sitting on it. On the thumbnail, it had someone sitting on it. There we are. At the beginning. Bigger and bigger toys. Anyone else have any technical
Yeah.
No?
Yeah, I need this one. Works on my machine. Don't know why it doesn't work on yours.
No? All right, do we have anything else that we can...
I looked earlier. Today is Hanukkah 7. So, where is it? There we go. How many candles should you have today? So today is the 13th. Kislev 30.
Nights.
Let's see if I go back to here and do images. Oh, there was a cool thing. If I can find it. Someone has a... Here it is. Someone has a dreidel. A little menorah and a dreidel on the space station. And was spinning it in 0G.
Cute.
Is this going to work?
That is a tiny one.
All right, so it should go for quite a while.
It will go
I don't
forever.
think they're allowed to light candles on the International Space Station. Too much threat of fire.
They were doing some interesting experiments in a enclosed box with fire. Because there's no gravity, you light a candle and the flame is basically a ball.
It's a
Oh,
sphere.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whee! Yeah, it's the 25th anniversary of the station.
When are they decommissioning it?
Well, everyone keeps hoping that we can find enough money to keep it going again. So currently it's 2031. But there's been a lot of controversy with Russia intimating that they might pull out in all their funding because we are supporting Ukraine in their it's not war. Russia says it's not a war. We're taking back our own property. Same thing with the Hubble. Every time they talk about decommissioning Hubble, there's a lot of people trying to get it back working again.
There's a lot of pushback. Well, American public put billions of dollars into the thing,
But we don't have a ship that can get there and perform any maintenance on it.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Or the James Webb.
Well, yeah, that's a million miles away. So currently Hubble will probably end up deorbiting in 2028. Or uncontrolled reentry until 2030s. One of the things that's interesting on the space station is so the space station's at a 400 mile, 200 mile, 400 kilometer orbit. Let me see if I can find it. And so every now and then they have to reboost, that's what they call it.
What we're going to do now is a little experiment
when
to
it
see
thrusts,
if we can detect what happens when the space station
the astronaut's going to let go of the sides.
At the moment we've got a progress vehicle attached to the aft end of the service module.
The station is going to thrust
in
past
15
him.
seconds.
So it looks like
we
he's
should
flying through
have
the station,
a
but he's
reboot of the
actually
space station.
stationary.
I'm going to hold
and the
myself
station is
as
flying
still
past
as I
him.
can here in the US lab, that way, backwards, as the rotation, but I am being pushed off. And which is going to send it into a slightly higher velocity, of course,
in the
space station being thrusted forward into a higher orbit as I'm drifting back down to the lab.
Because there's little tiny bits of atmosphere still hitting the station, so it's slowing down a hair.
And
here on board,
when
our programs it, and then the computers on board execute the reboost.
There's the one where he actually is flying as it boosts. So here they're only talking about reboosting. Oh, there it goes. So the camera looks like it's flying away from him, but he's actually flying away from the camera. There was one video I saw that, no, maybe it was this one. Yeah, I think it was this guy. That went through the whole length of the ship, and then he jumps back to the other end, and does it again, and jumps back to the other end, does it again. So it was like a minute or two burn. Yep, so the space station is accelerating away and leaving them behind. All for science.
Yeah.
And we're documenting it, so it is science. It's not just screwing around.
It's an experiment.
Yep. The only difference between screwing around and science is writing it down.
So at this point, would their brains be telling them that they are moving?
Yeah, they think they're moving when they're actually staying still. Because everything around them is moving.
To return to my earlier attempted question, when you say they're staying still, they are actually, at least relative to the Earth's surface, moving at thousands of miles an hour, right?
Yeah.
All depends on what your reference point is.
Yeah,
Right?
so they're doing 17,000 miles an hour, yeah. So their velocity is not changing, but the space station's velocity is changing.
Right.
The other crazy one, somebody snuck a gorilla suit. Well, not snuck, it was registered in the payload onto the space station. Personal mass allowance.
And then somebody would say, how did Bigfoot get on the space station?
Yeah.
All right, pretty much.
Where we have it.
I think we're done.
We're done for another week, another month, another year.
Yeah, we're done for the year.
Yeah.
We're starting fresh in January of 2024.
Wow.
Who would have thought back in the Y2K that we'd be here going 24 years later going, hey, nothing happened. All right, shall I officially end it?
Sounds good.
Okay, so it's 9:37, so I'm going to officially end our December meeting. And we can go forth.
Enjoy the holidays, everybody.
Yes. You as well.
Happy holidays. Merry